everyone, it's Anthony here at Baldwin Winery, and today I'm actually here with my dad, Alex. He's the winemaker and one of the owners here at Baldwin Winery.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So this is week 3 of Tastings to Go, right? So for week 3, we're sampling something pretty cool, which is our 6-bottle bundle. Our 6-bottle bundle goes for $87.98, and it includes a really nice array of, it kind of shows everything that we have to offer, right?
We go from dries to semis right into dessert style wines.
Yeah, so the 6-bottle bundle, it includes our Pinot Grigio, the Hudson Harmony Blueberry Merlot, our Illusions, Joseph's Vintage Late Harvest Riesling, our apple dessert wine, and our strawberry dessert wine. So each tasting to go this week for week 3 is going to be $15 a tasting. You get a sample of 6 wines and a really, really nice souvenir Baldwin wine glass you can taste along in the glass with us, all right? So we're going to jump into the first wine here, so follow along with our tasting. So for our first wine for week 3 of Tastings to Go, we have our Pinot Grigio. So I'm going to pour a little bit out for the both of us.
This was the first time we actually made a Pinot Grigio. It was one of those wines that I had wanted to make for a long, long time, and it took it was a while before we actually found the grapes that we wanted, and we were able to find the grapes right here in the Hudson Valley. So I was ecstatic to actually get the opportunity to make this this wine.
So again, we're just going to give it a little bit of a swirl, and when we're doing this, we just want a lot of the nice aromatics to come up. See what we get here. It's really floral to the nose, right? A lot of like flowers.
It is very, very floral. This wine was a bear. I tried. Fermentation just was not starting properly. We had inoculated the grapes. I was trying to get it to ferment, and the weather was crazy. It was a little colder. It just didn't want to start the fermentation, and I was getting nervous because the pH was a little higher on the juice. But then all of a sudden, it took off like gangbusters, and man, it has such just a nice.
Yeah, I remember that when it fermented, it just went. It went from nothing to just going.
It was, and it was going strong. It really was. It has such a nice, and it does have a nice citrus nose to it. Man.
And I think it's worth mentioning too, it's aged really nice in the bottle. This is a 2017 vintage, right?
This is 2017. Yeah. It's been in the bottle, for 2 years, a little over, almost 3 years now. Yeah. And just a tad bit of American oak on it. Just a great wine. I think this is going to age better and better. Just keep getting better. I hope everybody enjoys this because, this was a labor of love, I should say. I really wanted to make this, and we finally had an opportunity to make it. And it's got a nice body to it, and it drinks really well. As a matter of fact,
it's really smooth.
It is very smooth. We're having we're actually going to be having some chicken and a chicken dish, and I'm actually going to pour this out with it because
yeah, it'll go really, really nice.
It's delicious.
Any of your chickens, fish, even some like pork chops, right?
Even pork chops. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really good. Just really, really smooth.
You can catch the oak on the finish, which is
yes.
which is great. You get the fruit, you get the oakiness. It's going to take. This will last quite a while. I'm going to store a couple bottles away and put them down in the wine cellar and see how long they store for. I'd be interested to see if how many years we can get out of this this wine. So I hope everybody enjoys.
So for our second wine, we have our Hudson Harmony Blueberry Merlot. I'm going to pour a little bit out for my dad and I. Now this is just a really interesting and just kind of a different wine on the palate, right?
This is a nice light-bodied red wine. It was not supposed to be, this Hudson Harmony was not supposed to be Hudson Harmony. It was supposed to be a Merlot, which we have every year.
Yes.
And I had a passion to do a blueberry wine. Blueberry is one of my favorite fruits in the whole entire world. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the Merlot grapes, and when we were able to get Merlot grapes, we were only able to get a small batch of them. So we decided to combine them and make a blueberry Merlot. I love the way this came out. I wasn't sure.
It's a hint of oak on it, right?
Man, just the nose is all blueberries. You just
It's such a full fruit flavor. You wouldn't expect it to be as dry as it is, right?
I wanted to make a dry blueberry wine. I've had a couple. I wasn't thrilled with them, but just the combination of the little bit of Merlot gives it a nice grape, Merlot flavor. Man, you get the blueberry, the Merlot. It's light. I mean, as far as the color, it's very light.
Smooth.
But at the same time, it's almost full bodied. I mean, it has like it gives you a full flavor on the palate.
It's a full berry flavor. I'm getting the Merlot at least on the middle of it. You get the blueberry on the front and on the end of it. Just a really full blueberry flavor.
I used a little bit of French oak too. On the finish. It was I oaked it for probably about 3 weeks just to give it just a tad bit of flavor. But just about 2 weeks ago, I popped a bottle, your mother and I, and we had some nice cheese and some fruit and crackers, and we sat out on the porch. It was a nice night, and we had this. It just goes well with meals, with fruit, with cheese.
That's what I like about it, is that it goes standalone as a glass of wine or with a meal.
Yes.
And I will say too, one thing to note, I think, is that this also came about because I think here at Baldwin, everyone kind of knows us for our landmark, our fruit wines, our apple, our strawberry, our spiced apple, our raspberry when that's in season. But we really wanted to try to incorporate the fruit that we're known for into a drier wine.
Yes, and we did, and that's how the name kind of just came about. Was that
Hudson Harmony?
It's a harmony of the two fruits, the Merlot and the blueberries, coming together. So, boy, I hope everybody enjoys this. And we only have a limited amount of this wine.
Very limited stock.
So please, if you want to try something unique and you want to come out here and get this, we don't always have it, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get Merlot or blueberries this year.
It's hard to tell.
So we have it now, and get out here, grab a bottle, or get in your tastings to go. 6 bottles, and one of them happens to be the Hudson Harmony.
So for our third wine today, we have our Illusions, which is a really, really nice, just a semi-white. It's a Cayuga and Vidal blend, right? I'll pour a little bit.
This is a wine that we've had for years. We haven't made it in years. We finally were able to get the Cayuga and the Vidal grapes to make it. This is a fan favorite. We have a lot of customers request the Illusions. We were finally able to get the quality Cayuga grapes to make it. I am really shocked at the amount of honey on the nose.
Yeah.
I love Cayuga. It's a very light-bodied white wine. I love the grape variety. It's just
very like fruity honey.
Yes. We grew, when we had the vineyard here, we had 26 acres. Actually 2 of the grapes that I loved to work with was the Cayuga and the Vidal. They were incredible to work with. As a matter of fact, we had made a Wendy's wedding wine pack when your mom and I first got married, and that was based with Vidal. The way the Illusions kind of came about was an accident. I actually backed a tank into another tank, the Cayuga into the Vidal, and this was the Illusions. That's how it came about. Now, this has lots of honey, lots of fruit on the flavor, on the nose, vanilla, and the crazy thing is that it's so light, but then with the Cayuga's light, but then all of a sudden the Vidal hits.
Yeah.
And you get like
the
that.
The Vidal's a little bit heavier. You get it on the mouthfeel. It's just a little bit thicker, right?
Yes.
I get the vanilla on the taste, but definitely the honey and the fruit on the nose, and a lot of fruit on the taste too. You know what's good about this is I think we're just really coming into the season when this is perfect. This is a great spring, summertime wine. It's great with food, great for just a glass of wine sitting outside.
And it's an off-dry white, so it's not, when I say off-dry, I just mean that it just has a hint of sweetness to it. So you get the fruitiness to it, you get a hint of sweetness to it.
It's not too sweet, it's just that perfect amount of dry.
No, this is great. If somebody doesn't like something too dry or too sweet, this is right in between, and very light-bodied. And it goes very well, pairs well with many dishes, especially fish dishes.
Yes.
Because the citrus on it too, at the very end you get that citrusy and green apples. From the
I get that on the taste. It's perfect with the fish. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I'm happy that we were able to put this back into our
a lot of people were happy
into the winery here. I really am. So
this is our Illusions. Hope you guys can pick up a bottle. Again, just want to remind you, we are here curbside 7 days a week from 12 to 5 p.m. So feel free to pick yourself up a bottle or one of our 6-bottle bundles. For our next wine, we have our Joseph's Vintage Select Late Harvest Riesling. So I'm going to pour a little bit out for me and my dad here.
So Joe's was named after our oldest son, Joseph. People come in here all the time and they say they ask for the Saint Joseph's, and Joe's not a saint whatsoever. But it's made from Select Late Harvest Riesling. Select Late Harvest means that we pick it later in the season, and the grape actually grows a rot on it, and that rot is called botrytis. It's known as the noble rot throughout the wine industry. And what it does is it gives it a honey and apricot flavor on the Riesling during fermentation. So the botricized grapes actually look almost like they're a raisin when we pick them. Yeah. And so the water is kind of dehydrated out by the sun. The sun takes away that, leaves behind the sugar and juice concentration, and when pressed, it gives you a very high Brix or sugar content. We call it Brix content in the wine industry, and we wind up with this honey and apricot flavor with the Riesling.
And that makes for a nice, like a thicker on the mouth feel and just a sweeter wine.
Does, and this has more of a golden color to it than the Illusions does, and the Pinot Grigio. There's that honey.
Yeah, you get the honey on that first sip.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that the Riesling, this year's Riesling, this year's Joseph's, is not as full-bodied as years past. We had a lot of rain.
Yeah,
and
it's a bit lighter.
It is. It's lighter. It's crazy. I mean, everything is environmental. So, depending on where you're getting your grapes from and where you're making your wine, everything has affects how the wine comes out at the very end.
That's what I think I really love about it, is that one year is never too much like the last year. You can never really duplicate a wine truly, I don't think, at least.
No, because we make it by hand. And we people have to understand that every bottle we touch, I mean, we go through, we cork, we encapsulate.
We label, hand label.
Everything. So it's a craft. These are craft items, craft wines, and we make them in small batches. That's why we don't always have them. That's why we run out of them from time.
It's really important to know that we're trying to get more people to realize that we really are more of a craft winery. It's everything that we're touching, we're handling, and we're not always going to have it in stock.
Yeah, and so again, we try. And again, we didn't want to be without having a Joseph's vintage, but the Riesling came out great. It still tastes delicious.
Just a bit lighter because of the rain we had.
Just lighter than other years past. So, man, I would love some fresh, like some fresh cantaloupe and some fresh honeycomb melon to go along with this.
That'd be great.
So, well, this is Joseph's vintage, not St. Joseph's, Joseph's vintage, blue bottle. Everybody comes in and asks for the blue bottle Riesling, and I hope you're enjoying it at home.
So the second and last wine we have for you guys is one of our dessert wines. Again, this is a seasonal one. This is our original apple wine.
So these apples are coming from Minard Farms over in Clintondale, New York. A great family,
really good people.
Orchard. I mean, a great family farm. You get an opportunity to get out there and especially during the fall time.
You can pick apples there too, right?
You can pick apples. You can pick pumpkins. You can. I mean, it's just you get a great experience. Like coming out here to Baldwin Vineyards, it's a great experience going out to Minard's Farms. I love the quality of their apples. This year we did 3 apples because we did it earlier in the season. Empire, Cortland, Granny Smith apples is what we did for the press.
Yeah. I love when we change over to Granny Smith because I really like it. I know it's a dessert wine, but I get a little less sweetness to it, and you get a nice bite. A little bit of bitter from the Granny Smith.
So, you know, and that's a great point. Just a tad bit of the higher acid in the Granny Smith. Okay, so the acidity, once you have the acidity on the finish, it makes it feel like it's a little drier. So it's not as sweet. I mean, the nose is just all apples. Mm-hmm. It's apple wine. You gotta understand, this is not. We're not adding flavoring or fruits into a wine and calling it apple wine. It's 100% apples. As a matter of fact, you know, your mother made a pork roast with the apples, which I'm really looking forward to. But we've been making the apple fritters with it. You can do
so many recipes.
Man, you can make an apple martini. Yeah. Our apple sangria. You can make
speaking of our apple sangria,
it makes a margarita, which is absolutely incredible too. And it's great chilled. You know, you take this, if you don't want to, you want to kind of lighten it up a little bit. Say somebody doesn't want to drink a whole glass of a dessert wine, you could put it over ice, and you could put a shot of vodka inside there and make your own little drinks out of it. As a matter of fact, Mr. Antonelli over at Orange County Hops Brewery, he actually adds the apple into a wheat beer, and
which is phenomenal.
Which is great.
Really incredible.
I got to tell you,
wheat beer. He makes an incredible wheat beer, and paired along with our apple or our spiced apple wine is just it is out of this world. Yeah,
I'll tell you, we're gonna have to get over to Mr. Antonelli soon.
We do. Hopefully soon, sooner than later, hopefully.
After we're done with this video, we'll just go over there.
Yeah, we'll go over there right now. So for our final wine for our week 3 tastings to go, we have one of our original wines, right? This is our strawberry dessert wine. Really the wine that kind of, it really started it all.
This strawberry wine put us on the map. I mean, your grandparents, Jack and Pat Baldwin, started the business, the winery. They had an idea to take fresh strawberries and turn it into a dessert style wine. Mm-hmm. And people said, no way, nobody's going to buy this. And what happened was they made it, and people started talking about it, and then Robin Leach, who had a show at the time called The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, actually came in. He got a bottle, loved it, and actually had it on. They had your grandparents on the show, and it just kind of took off. As a matter of fact, we were one of the few wines that were accepted from New York State up in Canada through the LCBO. So this wine is made from 100% fresh strawberries. It takes 3.5 pounds to make 1 bottle of this wine. I always joke this should be an air freshener. I need
an air freshener or a candle. People ask all the time.
Man, I got to get Yankee Candle to actually to make a air freshener. But you can pretty much, not only is it great to drink, it's great over vanilla and chocolate ice cream, cheesecake, fresh melon, fresh fruit.
Yeah.
You can make chicken.
My thing is the mixed drinks.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the mixed drinks are great, but I you know, the daiquiris, the margaritas also that they're making from the strawberry margaritas, the martinis, or even cooking with it. The chicken, I was saying before, the chicken, the Cornish game hen, the turkey and duck.
Yeah. A duck. Yeah, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of my friends who's a culinary chef made a glazed duck with the strawberry wine.
Yeah,
it's just
I remember
incredible. So, but it's all berries. That's all this is, strawberries. It's delicious. Man.
I always tell customers, I wish they could be here when the strawberries come in. Just that smell we have in our production area. It's incredible.
Well, most people don't get a chance to see 15 tons of strawberries coming in the door. And I think as you guys were growing up, you probably were sick and tired of actually eating fresh strawberries.
We never wanted to look at a strawberry, ever.
No, ever. None of us did. We were stained, our hands were stained, our mouths were stained from eating it.
But the smell, right, it's incredible. Every single year when those strawberries come in.
All it is, you know. But, you know, we talk about environmental stuff and I tell the story, a couple of years ago, we had a fire up on the ridge.
It's about 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, and one day a customer said, "Man, I love that smoky strawberry wine." And
we had just released it. We had just released a brand new batch of our strawberry wine.
Yeah, and what happened was there was a fire on the ridge, and it was kind of rolling down. Everything was very smoky.
You smelled it outside. Every day you walked out, and you just smelled it, just this smoky smell.
And we carbonically macerate this, so it's open top fermentation.
Yeah.
And it was just rolling through the barn where we ferment, and it inoculated enough smoke in it that it gave flavor. We would never be able to duplicate that ever again.
Never. And that's funny because we still have customers, right? To this day, they walk in the door and they ask for our Baldwin smoky strawberry wine, and never would we be able to replicate that again.
No.
Just by chance.
No. But you can have a nice glass of strawberry wine, and you can pick up a cigar that we sell.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you can smoke and have a glass of strawberry wine. So enjoy.
All right, you guys, that wraps it up for our week 3 tastings to go. Remember, our 6-bottle bundle, which really samples a bunch of kind of everything we have, right? Dry to sweeter.
Dry to sweet.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of everything, and you're getting a glass this week. So not only are you getting not only are you getting a sample of what we give you in the 6-bottle bundle,
You're getting a wine glass to go along with the tastings.
Yes.
And you're getting a sample of 6 wines. That's $15 for our week 3 tastings to go. So again, I really hope you guys are doing well. I really honestly do mean I miss seeing you here at the winery. Thank you from all of us here at Baldwin Winery. You guys have been a really, really big support. We're trying to pump these videos out for you guys, do different, right, creative stuff to give you guys some content at home since you can't be here. But I just can't thank everyone enough for stopping by, doing the curbside pickup, asking how we're doing, trying to peek in the door, see what we're doing here. So thank you guys very, very much. You know, I hope you're all doing healthy. Hope you're doing really well, happy at home. And we hope we could see you here sooner rather than later.
And we have some great big surprises for you guys. Great,
really big surprises.
Big surprises. So when we all get out of this, we are so excited to have you guys
really excited.
come down, see what we're doing here. But in the meantime, just give us a call, message us on Facebook, text us.
We're here 7 days a week.
Yes.
12 to 5 p.m. doing curbside pickup. And we are doing deliveries in our local area as well, all right? So give us a call, like my dad said, message us on Facebook. That's the way to reach us. We hope to see you guys soon.